Hello Noddies. In our previous video, we designed the PMOS diode connector load common source amplifier. If you haven't watched it yet, click the I button on the top right corner because today's circuit is a direct continuation of the design. Today, we are going to take the exact amplifier, mirror it, and build the most fundamental block used inside the operational amplifier, which is the differential amplifier. Now, this is not the final differential amplifier yet because we haven't added the tail current source. So today our goal is simply to understand why differential amplifier exists and how this basic structure works. In the next video, we will complete it by adding the tail current source. Let's begin with the circuit itself. One on the left is the double-ended output where we take output from both the drains. One on the right is the single-ended output where we observe only one node at the output. Notice something interesting? This circuit is nothing but two common source amplifier sharing the same active load. So instead of designing two amplifiers separately, we simply mirror the PMOS diode connected load from our previous lecture and connect another NMOS transistor. So today's circuit is built completely from things we have already learned. Now the question is, why don't we simply use two common source amplifiers? The answer is noise. Let us assume the same unwanted noise gets coupled into both the input wires. This can happen due to supply noise, electromagnetic interference, or substrate coupling. Both inputs now contain the same noise. So while using the differential amplifier, when we subtract the two outputs, the wanted signal adds, the common noise gets cancelled automatically. Since subtraction removes equal quantities, while the common noise appears with the same magnitude on the both sides. That's one of the biggest reason differential amplifier are used everywhere in the analog IC design. Now, the differential amplifier usually works in two modes. One is the common mode and another is the differential mode. Here let's see about the common mode. Here both the input moves in the same direction and by the same amount. For example, both inputs increase together or decrease together. Since both transistors experience ideal changes, both output also moves together. When we subtract them, they cancel each other, giving almost zero differential output. This property is called the common mode rejection. The second mode is the differential mode. Now, one input goes to positive while the other input goes to negative. So, one transistor conducts more current while the other conducts less. This creates opposite output swings which no longer cancel. Instead, they add up after subtraction, producing a much larger output voltage. This is exactly the signal we actually want to amplify. Here the W by L ratio and the V bias are taken from our previous video. Here I am assuming the V in to be 20 millivolt and the frequency to be 1 kHz for this design. And from the circuit we can see we have to have the same V bias while the input amplitude to be split into two, and we have to give positive on the one side and negative on the one side. So now let's try to simulate the circuit in Cadence. Open your Cadence. So this is our previous circuit where I am fixing the bias voltage the same. So since it's a differential amplifier, I have to give only half the amplitude. So here I am changing my 20 millivolt to 10 millivolt and keep everything else the same. Now I am just copying the same circuit. Press E in your keyboard, click, move your mouse cursor and place your circuit here. Now choose flip horizontal option. Just select your circuit and flip your circuit. Now finish wiring your circuit. So today I will design the single-ended output while you can try the double-ended output on your own. So here I have finished wiring my circuit, and the important thing to note here is that I have to give the opposite amplitude on the other side. So here I am giving minus 10 millivolt. Click OK. Click check and save. Launch ADL, choose your analysis as AC, give start value as 1 and stop value as 10M, click OK, run your simulation. Now go to result, direct plot, ACDB20, click your output node and press escape in your keyboard. So from this we can see we have achieved the similar gain as our previous video. Now let's try to run the transient analysis. For transient analysis you will need the calculator. Choose your analysis as trans, give 10M, click OK, and here I am naming my nodes. Press L in your keyboard. I am naming my nodes as INP and INN. So this is my positive input and this is my negative input. Check and save. Go to tools, calculator. Here choose the VT option. Click your INP node. Copy this and subtract it with your INN node. Send this to ADL window. So here now our input is ready. I have to choose my output. After choosing the output node, run your simulation. So from this we can see for a 40 millivolt input swing, I got around 115 millivolt output swing. So my differential amplifier is amplifying my signal. So even though the previous circuit gave us the gain boost, the circuit is incomplete because the previous circuit didn't have the tail node. Although our previous circuit gave us the gain, so without the tail node, the current through the two branches is not properly controlled. And by adding a tail node, we can increase the stability, maintain constant total current, and improve differential gain. So today we learned why differential amplifier are preferred over a simple common source amplifier, how they reject common mode noise, and how we can build one simply by mirroring the PMOS diode connected amplifier from the previous lecture. But remember, this is still an incomplete differential amplifier. So in the next video, we will introduce the tail current source, understand why it is essential, and see how it dramatically improves gain, current stability, and common mode rejection. And that's all for today's video, Noddies. So until then, keep learning, keep building, and keep simulating.